Alrighty, the cats are situated and the sound check has been done. It's time we get this started. So first things first. Oh, wait, let's open that up because that did not go where I wanted it to go. Alright, we're going to be moving the vending machine, getting grass going, and getting the composter up. We do want to expand the greenhouse and get this guy piped up at some point. I do want to make the living quarters. We do want to do that eventually. And I'm going to put it on here. Clock code. I keep getting on Mumanji about he needs to do a clock code, and I need to do it as well. Let's put this over here because I do like having that open. Alright. And let's eat before we leave. Alright, and while we're here, we might as well top up on our water. Alrighty. Close the thing, and let's get going. So one of the things I want to do first is replace the centrifuge code, because I've messed around with the stack, and now I know how to control the centrifuges with a loop. Alright. There's the vending machine we need to move. Let's pull out the laptop first. Come on. There we go. Put the laptop down. Pull out this. Go edit. Come on. Edit. There we go. Come on. There we go. So as we can see, we have my centrifuge code using the hash name. And currently, it's kind of ugly. It uses about 109 or 118 lines. Yes. Yes. And now we get the same effective code, only taking 35. This is the power of the stack. So basically, I now have it where it pushes all these into the stack. It pushes 0 at the end, and that's why I know where the end of the stack is. We have reset that puts the stack pointer to 0. And then it just goes through the code. Stack pointer plus 1, and boom. I do need to watch to make sure centrifuge 1 is controlled, just to make sure there's none of the funny computers start with 0 instead of 1 bit, but I think it does that already. But then it just loops through. Take a peek at the stack, grab the set name. If the set name is below 0, or if the set name is equal to 0, it goes to reset and sets the stack pointer back to 0. If not, it moves to the next one, which is load batch. And it checks the reagents of this centrifuge set name. And if that is greater than 399, which is what it's going to be when it's full, it empties it. And then it comes down here, it says it's open. If the reagent count is 0, then it closes. And that's this simple code. That's effectively what we were doing before, but now we have the stack running it, as opposed to having to tell it to check every single one individually. Like I said, we do want to keep an eye on centrifuge 1, but in my testing, that worked, so the code was working nicely. Tally-ho, up we go. Because I do not like how the corridor looks up here. For one, we're in a subterranean base, and we don't have a lot of windows. So the one area we do have the ability to have windows, we don't. And I don't like that. So we're going to go through and put windows in this area. That will mean we're going to have to manage the solar heat. But we already have a pipe here. We deal with heat, we just have to put in an air conditioning. And since we're already in the suit and the base hasn't been pressurized yet, I want to go check something. Because in my tests, I needed to set up a AC, and the AC placement was rather awkward. So I'm wondering, yep, this space is usable. So I just need to include this in the enclosure, and then the AC can go here and tie right into this radiator. Alright. Let's go get some materials to expand and change the setting of the upper base. And at some point we will go collect all that oxide, because that oxide will help us pressurize the base. Alright. Steel. Steel. Oh, would help to close that. Not flat wall, padded wall. This padded wall allows you to do windows. Yep, there we go. And I'm gonna need silicone, I believe. There you are. Alright, now let's see what we have. We do have windows and plastic, so actually we should be good without. But we will maybe need storage. Thought I told you to make those. Oh, that's what happened. Alrighty. We've got the powered vent that we don't need. Stellite glass. How does this tank look? Oh. And that got moved there. Alright, so we're at 2.7 millipascals of that huge tank. That's actually quite a bit. Not so much in here, but again, that is a 50,000 tank. Hey Jay, how you doing? Oxygen and... okay. Our jetpack is doing good. Our oxygen is doing well, but I'm going to top it off since I'm here. And you are empty, so we can shut that off. How is this tank looking for heat? It could be better. Could be a lot worse, but that's not bad. That little heating thing's doing its job of keeping the heat up. You shut off again. Why'd you shut off again? No, I want you making. You're supposed to be making it this whole time. Do let me know if there's any audio issues. I did check to see if the sound of the music came through, but I did not check voice sound. So if you cannot hear me, well, if you can't hear me, I don't know how you're going to know I'm asking you if you can hear me or not, but could do. If you can hear me, please say something in chat. I'm going to wait until it gets to about 20, and then I will go up and start putting in these walls. Actually, 16 is going to be nice because I have 16 glass. All right. 72 days without dying. No, that's going to be problematic. Throw you on the floor. Grinder. Let's get that nice and airtight. We want the thin window. Alright. Steel. And now let's start taking these down, because we want to see outside. We will probably reuse these flat walls for places. Yes, your voice is lower than the music. All right, thank you for saying so. Okay. Is this a better volume to music ratio? Because OBS is lying to me. It's telling me my voice is much higher than the audio, but c'est la vie. Yeah, I don't know why OBS has been lying to me, because like it displays the sound bars, and my my voice audio is like going all the way into the red, and the music audio is only making it like a quarter of the way. Right now it's only making it an eighth of the way, so if it's still too low, okay. But an echo, I wonder why there's an echo. Let's see here. That one's muted. Let's do a check. I'm going to do something weird. I'm going to make a change, count to 5. And if you can't hear me in that 5 seconds, that says that I did something wrong. So I'm going to count. Actually, let's do this. I'll count to 5, and then I'll count from 5 to 1, and there'll be a difference between them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did you hear me count from 5 to 1 or not? Because effectively what I did is I messed with one. Okay. So that tells me it's not that setting that's messed up. Oh, you did. So I'm wondering why there's an echo. Let's try it this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's really weird because the mic settings. Alright, let's see here. That might be the problem. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Which one sounded better? Could you hear both of them or neither one of them? Good, good? So which one sounded better, the 5 to the 1 to 5, or the 4 to, or the, you know what I'm trying to articulate. Because apparently one of my settings wasn't even set up properly. I messed with it, but I don't know which setting fixed it. Oh, good, good. So maybe it was that one setting that was messing everything up. All right. Let me know if that echo returns, because I've tried to like set up a computer to know whether I'm having an issue or not, and sometimes I sound fine on that second computer, but so we finally have a more permanent computer room, so hopefully all of this evens out eventually. Yeah, I need to make more padded walls, but I also need to make more glass in that case. Because yeah, I figure my base is subterranean, we don't have many windows, so let's have windows where I can. Alright, yeah, does it need a steel sheet? Is that why it's not? Yeah, that's why. I should be missing one, because I had enough, unless this is that's what it was. I had enough glass for each padded wall. There we go. So it looks like I just need 2 more. Make sure. Actually, no, I need more than 2 more. Actually, most of that will get redesigned, so I'll deal with that when that gets redesigned. So let's go get 2 more padded walls. And 2 more sheets of glass. And you know what? I just realized something else. I don't like them there either, because I want to actually expand it out at least 1 block. The joys of redesigning your base. And we're going to need 1 more. So 1 more frame while we're at it as well. Let's get this welded up while I'm thinking about it, because otherwise I will forget. Because my last 2 brain cells are competing for 3rd place today. But thank you all who have joined me and put up with my tired butt. I'm looking forward to pressurizing the base today. We've been mostly in vacuum most of the stream, so it'll be interesting to actually hear the base's sounds. I'm going to need a lot more than 2 because I need to do that hallway, so I might as well just do quite a bit. Let's go check on the centrifuges while we're waiting. Hey, Mumanji! Glad you could join me. Okay, you're functioning. And you are not All right, you've clearly emptied recently, so that means I'm not getting screwed over by how computers count. So yes, the new code is working. Let me make sure how my iron levels are looking. Oh yeah, we're only at 44 of 600. I want to move this guy eventually over to here so we can have him linked to all these guys. So that way we can have an IC basically keep the vending machine loaded with so many ores. It'll make trading so much easier. Which I need to see if there is a high tier seed trader as soon as we come up and mess with this. Stop you after that. And we'll go to last sheets. And we got 21, so we'll need 21 of those. Part of me wants to run up and check the seed to see if there's any seed traders, but then this will overproduce. And I don't think I'll use that many glass sheets. Now, if it was steel sheets, which is what I'm going to set it up to next, that I don't worry if it overproduces because you'll always use those steel sheets. So, sheets, steel, produce. It's going to auto eject that. Yay. Alright, now let's go check the seed trade if there's any seed traders. The funny part about me pressurizing the base will allow us to hear is it's one of the reasons I actually got music up and running on this stream is because most of this stream was in silence. Just due to the fact that the base was vacuum. Alright. Space banners. Yep, no seed traders. Conserve power. Shut them down. One of the nice parts about pressurizing the whole base is I will be able to just walk around without my suit, and I won't get stinky if I'm not in my suit. So I don't have to worry about this hygiene thing after I pressurize the base. I don't like having it with the decimal, so... Alright. How much did I make? More than enough. Oh, and I needed a frame. This one, though. Come on. Thank you. Up we go. But yeah, we'll come dig out those oxides from around the elevator shaft and use those to pressurize our base. Alright. Deep digs, yep. Now, I did, like, before the stream, I did do a quick check in a test world just to see whether we had enough oxides to pressurize this base and whether there's any voids down below. And everything seems fine once you seal up this part of the base. We won't have a thick atmosphere, but we'll have a breathable atmosphere. Right in there. reduce that stack. And while we got the materials, we can also do those other panels that I was going to put off. There we go. All right. So I was going to ignore these panels until later, but might as well do them now since I have the stuff. At a certain point, I need to dismantle the life pod. But at the same time, I'm going, ooh, the nice part about the life pod is I'll be able to steal the atmosphere from the life pod. Alright. So we want flat. And just to be thorough, put that back. Nope, life pod was be kept for sentimental purposes. Like, I'm going to rebuild the life pod. Like, I still want the life pod around, but right now it's going to be in the path of the expansion. So I do plan on restoring the life pod at a certain point. It's just going to be out of the way. Same thing with the emergency materials, and all these emergency supplies will actually be put into the life pod as opposed to outside the life pod. But right now the life pod is going to be in the way, but we're not dismantling it tonight. Is that all of them? It'd be nicer if it was daytime, but alright. I see the pattern, I see the pattern. Alright. And I have more walls, so let's do this one first. Hope the Space Historic Preservation Committee doesn't hear about this. That's a good one. I like that one. I am keeping this where it is for sentimental reasons. I don't want anything to happen to it. And we have 4 more of those, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright. These 2 are more important. These 2 will just look straight into the antenna, so I'm not too worried about those 2. I need to be slower. I do want it on. Right. Come on, come on. There we go. I see the pattern on all of them, so I think we're good. Computer, is this considered a room? Yes. Although, if I had missed a glass, it would still consider it a room. Am I losing any of that pressure? Well, of course, because it's going throughout the base. I guess we just risk it. So, I find the best way to do it is come in here. Vent my... That's a awfully full waste tank, so I'm actually going to open the door a bit. The pressure is going to build as the ice melts, and boom. Throw the ice on the ground. And now we're committed. Okay, you're just going into the cavity. I don't see anything leaving the base. Wait. Oh, I did miss it. Hopefully I didn't lose too much oxygen. Up. Oh, there it goes. Sad face. Sad face again. Alright, it's... That, all the gaps. There's always the one window. Yeah! And in my case, it's two. Well, the fun part, we're pressurized enough for me to take the suit off. Now, the problem is going to be is as we go down the base, we're going to start to lose pressure. So let's see how far down we can go. And that's where we start encountering problems. Let's drop off some of these supplies so we can clear space in our inventory. Because we actually have more... Oh, I just remembered. We probably have more oxide in these. Actually, I think I took all the oxides out of these. Nope. So we do have plenty of ice. Alrighty. I'm not sure which one has the bigger space, whether it's down here or the production room. I tend to think the basement has the biggest cavity going for it. So we're going to throw all the ice down here, let it percolate up. But now we can actually hear the deep miners. Alright, so we'll let those melt. And we already know we're going to have to deal with temperature now. So let's go set up a AC on the top floor to manage the temperature of things. And I will just have to remember that I dropped off my GPS if I'm planning on leaving the base. Where's my Ren? So I'm going to empty you out, and I don't want you to go through stackers because that just gets messy. And it does it anyway, and gets messy. You gotta love it when you try to avoid something and it just happens anyway. Alright. I want an Atmo kit. So I need gold and copper. Copper. Oh, I need more copper. Make sure it's empty. Embrace chaos as it embraces you. It's funny you mentioned that because, like, work can tell you I kind of have a joke where it's totally stolen from Batman. You merely embraced the chaos. I was born to the chaos. I'm sure Jay will basically be like, yes, he was born to the chaos. He knows the family drama. Oh yeah, and vents. Luckily there's a pile, iron on top of the pile. Active vent and passive vent. Now it's going to be a while before we're actually going to need to cool the base because the ice has it nice and chilled at 0 degrees C. But eventually, especially given all the solar we just put in, and by solar I mean windows, which generates heat from the sun, we're going to eventually have to warm it up. Alright. Oh, I was supposed to print more pipes. I forgot. Okay. We'll get back to that. Okay. Because that line leads to our radiators. So we can just pipe this, put this right there. Put in pipes. Wire it up. Wish it was that easy to actually install an AC unit in real life. the input. So input likes to have its own little pipe. But the exhaust, oh, I'm going to need it for the exhaust too because I put it too close to the wall. Oh wow, it's not liking anywhere I want to put it. So we'll put it right there for now. So I'm going to need, let's just go make 10 more pipes. That should do the trick. And I think I can take my suit off, finally. We'll keep it on us just in case. And as soon as I do that, it's like, nope, low pressure. You thought. Come on. There we go. Oh yes, because it has to fill this cavernous space. Okay, yeah, I think this is bigger than the deep miner area. Insulated pipes, please. And the thing I did forget to pay attention to when I looked at the traders was how long until the next large trader. I didn't mean to pull that, but oh well. Looks like my avatar is as coordinated as I am. Oh, that's something I don't see every day. My count was spot on. All right. Oh yeah, and don't forget to wire the active vent. Wire cutters are over here. This is why I can't find them. I know, it's like a Christmas miracle. All right. We are pressurized enough up here that we can take the suit off. Turn on that. It's only a 3x3, so I don't think it's going to have any of the exotics, but... All right. Door is open. Everything looks good. That door is closed, so we're good. Come on down. And I am recognizing that I need to do one of two things. Either have a suit storage right here that has a suit, or have the atmospheric controls for the hangar out here. Not a bad idea. Alright. We have ferns, we have mushrooms, we have corn. Yep, we got all you. I figured we would. Alright, Void Adventure just entered the picture. Unless my memory is faulty, that is not a seed trader. So, we have 30 minutes before we'll get another large trader to come through. Did I leave anything else on the ground? Okay. Oh, yep, there it is. I thought there was something else. Alrighty. The atmosphere is starting to get a little thin again. So let's put our suit on and let's go down to level 10, where we will go and start mining out all those oxides that we keep seeing whenever we go down the elevator shaft. So one thing I am going to have to start to worry about in this zone is that now it's going to be collecting pressure with nowhere to go. Because originally when I designed these airlocks, it was just to keep atmosphere in, not to keep atmosphere out. So now it's just going to keep grabbing atmosphere every time I go into it, and it's going to overpressurize, which is not something we want to happen. I could just put in the old vent system up here and have it where once it gets overpressurized, it kicks it out. But the other trick is, that's where we're concentrating our CO2 at the moment. And like that, we're already full on oxide. So let's put that in there, because again, we do not want to overpressurize this particular room. Because this has kind of become the lifeboat with our plants. Once we're ready, we're going to actually go out, expand these walls, and this is where the greenhouse is going to get expanded. We're actually going to put a room per plant instead of just having this. This is just to keep me alive. But the first thing we need to do is increase our water production. So we're going to go and make the switchgrass, set up the composter and the H2 combustor, and a way to cool down that gas so it goes from steam to water. The other thing I want to do is mine out this area and start building the living quarters for followers. I figure put a bed, a suit storage, a suit, a desk, and a laptop. That's kind of my plan for right now. If anyone has some suggestions for what I should do with the living quarters, I'm all ears. I'm debating whether to make it 1 block tall or 2 blocks tall. That's something I haven't figured out yet. But according to this, I have 19 followers, so I want to build 20 rooms, 1 for me, and then 19 for the followers. Let's throw all the ice in here. Okay, let's give it time to flow around the base, because I am seeing we're starting to get decent pressures in the base. to throw some things there. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing Larry's. I don't know if I'm going to get to the Larry's today. But I do plan on keeping... Oh, hello. Can you... I do plan on keeping the planners where they're at, just as a memory. Actually... Suit and storage. I may end up regretting that decision with what I'm planning to do next. We're going to need some steel sheets. And this is one way I can help depressurize that room, I just realized. Just every once in a while, open that door. Follower. Don't need a Larry. No. Actually, I plan to do one better. I'm not going to have a plant in the living quarter. I'm going to have a window on the outside wall. And on the outside of the room, I'm planning to plant crops. So that way they can look out their window and actually see plants growing.
Low pressure. Oxygen low.
All right, no. Oh, wait, I can just throw some down here. And that should give it more oxygen. But yeah, no, that's actually not a bad idea to actually put just a pot planter in and give it some decor. All right. Power you up. Because I'm not going to be well, whether I'm mass producing is a questionable construct. But let's get 2 door kits, because I do want to have the individual greenhouse areas isolated in case we wanted to control their pressures and temperatures and oxygen ratios differently. Out of copper already. Is there any copper in any of these? Yes. Let's go make some copper. Where did I put those iron sheets? There they are. Go. That's a nice amount of flat walls. Oh, looks like we've got plenty of steel sheets now too. Did I leave? Nope, not on a decimal. Alright, let's try to expand the greenhouse finally. This is where we enter. Here's our suit storage. I'm going to say we're right about here. And a nice lead deposit.
Low pressure.
And I just realized I didn't make any frames because I wasn't thinking straight. We're going to want to have frames underneath. So let's follow this place out. So it's too flat.
Low pressure.
Because the airflow, we're going to keep getting that low pressure every once in a while. Something living you could name and talk to. Yeah, that's fair. I even thought about printing out the plushy cats to put in each people's room. My room's going to have two of those cats, one named Isis and Casey for my two cats. Okay. There we go. I'm thinking 3 deep. Actually, that would be 3. Thinking 3 deep for each greenhouse. Too wide. So yeah, we need to go build us some frames. My room needs to baby and gizmo. Sadly, you can't change the type of cat. It makes me very sad that you can't change the color of the cat, because otherwise I'd have a gray tabby and a black cat, but you just get the gray tabby. Alright, let's go get those frames.
Low pressure. Oxygen low. Oxygen critical. Pressure.
Open the door already. Thank you. Oh, I'm only going to be able to make 2 frames because I'm going to need more steel. There's steel. I need 6 frames. 2. Probably should just make more, because with me doing the base expansion, I'm going to be making more areas. So 6 is just for what I currently need, not what I'm going to need for the foreseeable future. It's almost a shame we can't make a small backpack 3D printer. Yeah, I'm going to need a lot. Like, when I was building the the landing pad, I'm like, I'm just going to let this run because I'm going to be using so many that it's just going to take time. And I printed out so many frames and flat walls, and I'm like, oh, this should be more than enough. And then I had to do the walk of shame and come back and print more. And I don't even have a max size landing pad. I only did a 7x7, and apparently you can do a 9x9. I'll deal with the depressurization on this one. It's going to start yelling at me. Pressure low.
Oxygen critical. Pressure critical.
And because it's going to annoy me if I don't do it, let's mine up those ores so they're not sticking through the floor. Water. Man, I didn't bring any glass. What was I thinking? No. We'll go get some glass, some consoles, basically everything we need for an airlock.
Low pressure. Pressure critical. Oxygen critical. Temperature low.
Yeah, I'm definitely not having to worry about managing extra heat as it's actually yelling at me for being cold. You know, the moment I put the iron away, it's going to be like, oh, you need iron. We're going to want 2 active vents. passive. We can use standard piping here. We'll do 10. Now, why I do feel the need for a bigger backpack, unfortunately this is about as big as it gets without sacrificing the jetpack, and I am fully aware that you can do the Inception, a backpack within a backpack within a backpack. You've kind of seen me do that with the mining backpacks, but I kind of feel like that's wrong. So I try not to do it. Now, there is a large part of me that just wants to pop this wall off and just go from there, but I do have limited CO2, and if I pop needs encumbrance mechanic, yeah, why I do kind of want to do it, I have limited CO2 at the moment. We have not got the mushroom greenhouse up and running, which should probably be after the grass. I'm actually going to go back inside, seal up or open it up, jump in, and put the glass in on the other side so it's sealed when we pop it, just in case, because we can do pressure checks on it. Oh, no! That was exactly what I didn't want to have happen. Hopefully I didn't lose too much CO2. Thought it was crowbar. Crowbar and flash sheet. I just was missing the target. Okay. I'm having a lot of atmospheric goose in this. Okay. That's going to be a bit problematic. Is it a wrench to take him off the wall? Crowbar. I'm glad that trick worked. I was able to just copy it and paste it. As silly as it sounds, these signs are actually very useful when I only stream once a week, because a lot of times it'll be like, oh, I had a week. What was I doing last week? Oh, that's right. We want to work on moving the vending machine and making grass. That's what we talked about doing. Alrighty. Those plastic sheets, wasn't it? Yeah, plastic. Glass and a crowbar. Alrighty. And I just realized I actually do want these two to mix, because this is going to be for plants, so it needs to have its CO2 levels up. And with that thought, I guess I need to jump into making the one for the mushrooms, because we're going to be, if we're growing grass, we're going to be using a lot of CO2, and we're going to need more CO2. Alrighty. Probably going to need to expand that back wall a bit for now. Man, it's taking forever to pressurize. Oh, there we go.
Low pressure. Oxygen low. Pressure critical.
And out.
Oxygen
Okay.
critical. Temperature low. Low pressure. Low pressure. Oxygen low. Low pressure. Oxygen low.
Yep. Diggy diggy.
Low pressure.
Alright.
Low pressure.
I think I'm going to have plenty of lead,
Low pressure.
and apparently of iron too.
Low pressure. Oxygen low. Temperature low.
2 more. Yeah, we're gonna need a lot more. So we need more frames in here, more flat walls. And we're gonna need a lot of hydroponic bays. Probably should grab some chutes and add something to the system downstairs so I can just throw these ores into the sorting system. Oh wow, we're actually getting cold. We're actually having our temperature drop. So I'm wondering where that's coming from. Okay, as we go up, the temperature is increasing, it seems. This is a nice -4. Let's do go to 5. Because then we can pick up the chutes. That's right, chutes. We have the 2 chutes right there. And where's the temperature disappearing at? To my understanding, this place down here should be generating heat, not removing heat. Anyone familiar with a system that would be causing it to get colder down here instead of warmer? Nothing should have phase changed. We'll definitely need to keep an eye on it. It's -14 down here. If it gets any colder, that's going to raise some questions for me. Because I was actually worried about this place getting too hot with all the centrifuges running and the deep miners running and the battery. And the cold's actually going to affect the battery. I never bought any ice, so there is no ice in this system. Do want to take these guys to the proper room. So we need still sheets and platforms. I'm just kind of, yes, I'm shocked because I thought I was going to have the opposite problem. I thought I was going to be dealing with a, oh my goodness, my base is heating up. And yet it's getting colder. Wait. I think I have an idea, but I need to go double check it. Let's get the still sheets going. Because the thing I just thought about was I may have, when I put in the cooling pipe, go, oh, I don't need it to be insulated. In fact, being uninsulated would help me. So maybe my coolant pipe that goes up to the radiator. Lost heat due to expansion? Maybe? I didn't think they had that feature in the game. I didn't think that gas expanding lost heat, because that's actually something a lot of people have complained about, is they don't have that part of the gas law in place. But from a programming standpoint, it made sense. But no, it's even gotten colder since we've stood here, because it was at -14 and now it's at -15, and we haven't drilled anymore since then. So, let's see here. Please tell me I have no. Oh, I do have. Yeah. Oh wait, I can actually see the pipe from here. Yeah, no, that's all insulated pipe the whole way. Yeah, it's insulated pipe the whole way. So where are we losing heat? Yeah. At least it's nice and toasty in here. The AC is keeping the temperature controlled. It dropped a little bit because we brought cold air in with us, but alright. Wrong airlock. I'm like, wait a minute. Alright. And I forgot to get gas sensor. Alright. Okay. So that's hooked up, even though it's not wired. We're probably not going to worry about regulating their gases or pressures and all that until later on. Right now, we just need to get them growing.
Temperature low.
This is where we'll enter the mushroom area. Because this wall will get pushed back. I was hoping it was far enough. Put the signs up, and I'm like, wait, we're going to have to push back. We'll just deal with this messiness for today. We'll get it better. I'd be more intent on getting this room nice and perfect if we hadn't run into this whole why is my base freezing problem. But, you know, this is kind of one of the interesting parts about stationeers is there's always something to chase down and be like, why aren't you working like I want you to? Alright. So I have 6 mushroom seeds. 6 mushrooms, that's 12. We have to run the water pipe from here. Alright. We're gonna need a lot of water pipe.
Low pressure. Oxygen critical. Pressure critical.
Oh.
Low pressure. Temperature critical. Temperature low. Low pressure. Oxygen low.
There we go.
Oxygen critical. Pressure critical. Low pressure. Temperature
The cold is definitely coming from down. Wait, I'm gonna go get my suit because it's getting too cold. Alright, this room is the coldest. Did this pipe burst? No. No. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. I see what the problem is. It's saying this is the world, not room 14. This This room is so big it counts as outside, and this is why I'm losing all my heat. How do we want to solve this problem? Yep, I was wondering whether that would happen, but when it counted the one room as 14, I thought I was safe. Turns out I am not. Does anyone remember offhand what the room limit is? $999. No. You think 999 is quite large until you realize, 10 by 10 by 10 room exceeds that. Put our get new chutes. Oh, we only have. Alright, just build me the frames and they'll make a mess. Alrighty. So I guess I'll just start from this corner and try to enclose it as much as I can. I don't remember turning on my jetpack. Problems you did not think were going to be a problem. Like, I already know I'm going to have to remember to be very, very careful when I fill these frames in, because the game will allow you to weld a frame you're in. And that does not go well for you. Let's go sheets. Now, another interesting question is, do the frames have to be built in order for it to limit the room size? I would assume yes, too. I'm just kind of curious. Because, you know, you would also like to go, well, I would assume the fact that I'm underground and it's sealed means I don't have to worry about it being exposed to the world. But, you know, things happen. And look, the temperature, I'm shocked how quickly the temperature is dropping. Oh yeah, no, I totally understand why they did it in code, because if you don't put a limit, things do start to go weird when you have rooms too big. But I almost wish they had it where, like, they had a way of letting you know, hey, if you build any bigger, you're gonna, like, some way to tell you. Alright, build that. Being very mindful how I'm welding this. And out of curiosity, where are we at right now? Are we still in world? Yep. And yes, this is making me very nervous welding the frames this way. Okay. Let's make frames again. I'm still chuckling because I could have sworn that when I pressurized the base, I'd be worried about overheating the base because I had so many deep miners and stuff going. I'm like, is one AC going to be able to manage all that heat? And now we're sitting at negative 28. Let's see what happens if I go seal it here. Yeah, no, like, I agree. I'm kind of surprised it's maintaining the pressure. Everything looks sealed. Still warm. Okay. At least I don't have to worry about storms on the moon. Otherwise, I'd have a storm in the base. Hey, and that actually also answers the question. No, they do not have to be welded up to count. In fact, I'm kind of curious now. Alright, this counts as room 31. Room 31. Okay, maybe it does matter, and I just basically filled enough cells that I got below the 999. Because these are both room 31, so the is it welded or not doesn't really affect what I was going for. We just filled enough cells that it's no longer... Yeah. Alrighty. Crisis averted. And we got building materials. I need to go get iron now, though, because we need to make hydroponics trays and water pipe. And now we get to see how quickly my base heats up from all the equipment I have. All right, I'm starting to at least relax because that was definitely a very unexpected occurrence that we had. So for future, before you pressurize your base, make sure that you're actually all rooms and not exposed to the outside. Although, I'm kind of curious, with all that being said, how low would the temperature have gotten had we left it to the world? Because it was maintaining pressure. So, like, we've talked about one of the good ways to keep food good is to get it super, super, super cold, and then it won't go bad. But then you have to take that room down to that temperature, and that takes energy. I wonder if you just made a room big enough that it was to the world, pressurized it, if it would just continue to drop in temperature. Something to think about. Alright, pump that. We're not pumping anything else in. And we have iron for days. Which would only make us 80 hydroponics, actually, so that, I mean, it seems like a lot, but really it's not. We'll start with 10 hydroponics, and that way we'll get started on the mushrooms, so that way we can start generating CO2. Because, yeah, we're going to be burning through CO2 with all the plants we want to grow, and we're basically going to have a mushroom for every other plant. Right. And at the moment, I can't think of another good way to just make a lot of CO2 other than just growing a lot of mushrooms. Because, I mean, yeah, you can use some combustors and stuff and get the CO2 as a byproduct, but when you start growing a lot of plants, I don't know if that will be able to keep up the way of just planting a mushroom will. again, something I'm going to have to think about, because I've not really done mass planting before. The way I achieved mass planting before was I literally just planted one mushroom for every plant that I planted. But I don't know if that is the best way of doing it or if it's just the way I have been. Alright. And I have lowered the pressure in this room enough that I'm not worried about it overpressurizing anytime soon. So I need to let the almost did he say? I need to let the airlocks now do their thing. We'll have a pipe in at this point to that room. Oh, you can't have the... Well, I'm just going to do a temporary fix for now. I'll move the locker later. All right. Alrighty. Make sure they're getting water. They are. It's cooling a little bit, but not a huge amount. So, actually, let's go use the actual mushrooms in here first so they don't go bad. Then we'll grab the seeds. Or should we say spores in the case of mushrooms. And there we go. We have mushrooms thriving in the dark. Alrighty. And I think we did that at a good time because we're down to 5.15% and now it is climbing. So that makes me happy to see that climbing. I mean, granted, I'm in this room to make it climb too, but right now we have 10 mushrooms to 5? Yeah, 5 regular plants. Let's rotate these because you always need more soybean oil. We have plenty of potatoes, so I'm not too worried about harvesting the potato. Okay. fact, on that note of potato, I'm going to find another soy plant, just because. My nitrogen was good enough, right? I need to worry about the nitrogen. One thing or another. Okay. Let the airlock do its thing. It's going to yell at me because at this point it's going to be like, oh no, there's no air. And valid, but it only lasts for a moment. I believe that's got oxygen in it. Yep. That is too much nitrogen. But a similar system might be a decent temporary measure. There we go. Print one of you. Pressure regulator. Gold and copper. Vent. No, that's a question.
Oxygen low.
Come on. Come on. There we go. And Stationpedia. Plants. Soybeans. So they consume oxygen and nitrogen. They only yield oxygen in return. So wouldn't having soybeans slowly reduce the pressure as it deletes the gases? Because it just nullifies nitrogen as opposed to, converting it to oxygen. So if you run enough soy plants, you would eventually drop your pressure in your room. At least that's my thinking. So I can come into here. And put that guy in. With the idea of using this pressure regulator to just keep the room maintained at 100 kPa. Which means I'm back to dealing with my original, oh, what happens when I accidentally pressurize the room every time I enter through an airlock? If I understood this right. So the nitrogen should be going up, and it is. And I'm happy that it's going up slowly. Because I don't want it to just completely just flood the room too quickly. I don't know what's slowing it down more, the pipe, the vent, or the regulator. Although, I think... No, I want to see the pipe. Oh well. I'm fairly certain that that pipe is pressurized quite a bit, so it's got to have plenty of nitrogen to keep pumping into the room. So now we need to deal with how are you going to want to deal with the over-pressurizing of this room? Well, I think now that we have the mushrooms, we're not worried about it starving our plants of CO2. Make sure it's going up, because right now I'm seeing 5.11, and I thought it was higher the last time I looked at it. But we've been going in and out, and each room hasn't equalized yet, and I just saw it drop a bit. Is 11 or is 10 mushrooms not adequate? Or is it just because the room's still equalizing? Thriving. Oh, this is at 12% here. So maybe it is just airflow of the base. Because here it's at 5.06. And let's be honest, this is technically the spot we care about. So let's watch whether it goes up or down right here. Because if it goes up here, that means we are definitely getting a net increase. Yep, I just saw it go up. So yeah, our CO2 is good. Right? Wait, why are my lungs now upset? Oh, because I've damaged my lungs from breathing the cold air. Oh wait, no, the atmosphere you're breathing is causing damage to your lungs. This is my current atmosphere is damaging my lungs. Let's see if putting on the suit removes that. It might just be a bug. Alright. I don't know what to tell you about that. Alrighty. Let's go print off some copper coil and move the vending machine so I can take it off that list. Oh, and we also want to go and check the trader, which it has been more than 30 minutes since we looked at. Something about our... Actually, go back. Our base is still frozen, and we're still taking damage from that. Oh wow, I think I do need to find the pill and take the pill. next time we go into the plant zone, we need to take the pill. Or should I just build a cryopod? So we need a nitrogen of negative. Okay, so we're not quite where we can build a cryopod. This is why we do have nitrogen. We do not have it chilled that cold. Stellar system. That's not a high-end seed trader. 10 minutes until you. Do I want to torture myself? I do. Alright, I didn't see any good seed traders on that list. So now let's get back to, oh yeah, we are going to make copper wire to move the vending machine. And then after we move the vending machine, we are going to work on the grasses. Because once we can mess with the grass, we can start making the composter, which we can then use to make water. And water independence is something that we are striving for. Because once we get water independence, we can really start producing plants. Is why I know I can go mine water ice. That's not what I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to have it be all independent. Now I'm going to grab like 100 wire. Okay, bit rate is going well. If you're wondering what I'm doing when you see me doing this, I'm kind of looking at my OBS and my Twitch, make sure all my systems are running smoothly, because I've been having issues with it occasionally. Because like right now it's showing red on the bit rate. But on OBS, it's not showing that issue. So, trying to figure out why one says one thing and the other says something different. And less cable. Alright. Let's go move the vending machine. think I aimed this between the centrifuges. And I probably should go check centrifuge 1 again just to prove my code is working right. Oh, it's not throwing an error, so... There's the wire. There we go. Wire cutter right here. Not sure how I feel about the floating wires, but we'll deal with that later on. Alright. We are set up to deal with this. Enjoy the rest of your stream. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed and have a good evening. Go to the production area, drop off these alloys. Back. Alright, so now what do we need to take you apart? Crowbar. Hand drill. There. Data port. We can take power from this cable. Oh, I know how to do it. I can mirror... Oh, no. We know slots don't mirror, unfortunately. Which means that's going to be a bit of a problem to control. I guess the answer would be I jump it where all the silos are powered on the same network as the vending machine and would be isolated from the rest of the network. And then the IC can see the vending machine and the silos to do that. Alright, let's turn you on. So the vending machine is moved. I'll deal with IC 10 code for that later. Currently not in the headspace to do that coding. And we got 45 minutes left. So I can just add that to next stream, next week. Take off the suit. Pop the pill. And now we're feeling better. Which means we're gonna have to replace the pill. Gorse. I don't remember them having Gorse in the game before. I guess that's another seed I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for. And flat. I don't remember this being in the game either. Although I don't see their seeds anywhere. Unless I just have YouTuber blindness. Blueberries. Appear to be standard. Strawberries. Again, kind of looks to be standard. Looks to be roughly standard. This is the stuff that we're going to produce in mass numbers. "78 days without dying." Okay. So I guess I just do straight pin ferns, 1 silver, 1 cobalt. It's been so long since I made one of those. Alright. Oh yes. I did say ADHD player, so yeah. Okay, so move vending machine has been taken care of. We have worked at expanding the greenhouse, but we have not fully expanded it. Yeah, we haven't done a lot of that. Breathing efficiency. Oh, it's too cold. Don't know how that one got to be 101. That seems just a bit weird. That's 102. Even though it's breathing efficiency. Yeah. Go figure. Some of these seem to be contradicting each other. Because that one's minimum idea is 20. We're at 19, and yet its breathing efficiency is at 101. That one's 98. And yeah, go figure. I'll try not to think too hard on it. My brain is already kind of not sure what to do. Oh yeah, how's the nitrogen doing in this room?
Jetpack critical.
Alright. Now we're watching that nitrogen go up fast. It's actually draining faster than I thought it would. Let's go get the other cylinder. I was actually thinking that cylinder would be way too much for that room. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the perfect size. Condense some of these down, if possible. So we want a pressure regulator. We got the pipes we need. And then 2 passive vents. Because basically what I'm going to do is, if that room gets above 100 kPa, it will start venting it into the outer base, which is very underpressured at the moment and very much too cold. Although the temperature does seem to be rising, because now I see a negative 24 as opposed to a negative 28. And this is the old spot we had the system, but let's see, that's Cable. I should have just tied into that, but I had already committed. Locking to the safety. Alright. Oh, and I put the wrong regulator. I needed the back pressure regulator. Open, open, open. There we go. $100. Alright, so with that, we don't have to worry about this room overpressurizing again. Boy, did that just eat up a lot of the nitrogen. So yeah, no, it looked like I could have possibly just vented this whole thing up. In fact, let's see here. Oh yeah, it's got a volume of only 64. And each, yeah, no, in fact.
Jetpack critical.
I may regret this. And yeah, no. Barely made, like, it definitely increased the percentage, but did not really affect the pressure all that much. But we have, like, a lot of cells, so it makes sense that why it's 64 liters, like, and that's a lot for me to breathe or use as a jetpack. Each of these cells is over 100 times bigger. You get 6 of these cells, and it's 1,000 times bigger. So yeah, that tracks. Let's go fill up our jetpack with gas again.
Jetpack low.
Yes, I know jetpack is low. That's where we are heading, is to refill the jetpack. And then we will go check on the trader situation.
Jetpack critical.
That may work. Oh wow. It's better than nothing. Go check the trader. Still at negative 24 in the base. Hey, Creative Luck, thank you for joining me. How did your stream go? Oh, it says he's rating. 10 more minutes. Let me move it. A lot of times this thing likes to lie. Oh, just added some gases? Yeah, I just added mushrooms to my greenhouse area, so now that it's producing CO2, I was originally going to start getting the switchgrass going so I can make some volatiles. But if you look at my display, my base is at negative 23. We were very, very confused at first. But then we found out that my production room had been turned to the world. So the interesting part, it maintained pressure. So I wasn't losing in the atmosphere, just losing a ton of heat. So we had to come in and throw down a lot of steel frames to reduce the size of the room. So now it's a room instead of a world. I think I got to like a negative 30 before we were able to patch the problem. So now we're just waiting for the temperature to climb up. I know I could heat it fairly quickly, but I actually want to see how long it will take for the base to equalize temperature, because I'm wondering how much heat my base actually produces now that it has an atmosphere. And I want to go and make sure down here is still considered a room, because I'd hate for me to have patched one hole. Okay, so yeah, this is still considered a room. And that also explains things, because this room and that room are counted as the same room according to the computer. Probably because of this right here. Probably that point right there joins this up with the bottom. So I probably want to get the terrain manipulator and seal that up just to kind of keep it. Apparently, like, I didn't think so, but now that I understand that the system was counting the production and the mining room as the same room, that would explain why it was over 999. So I did move the vending machine finally. I haven't hooked it up to the silos, but I at least moved the vending machine and have it wired. But yeah, the whole why is my base freezing took us a while to figure it out, because it's like, is something going from liquid to gas? I shouldn't have any of the problem. And it took a while for me to go, okay, is it because I went to world? And that's what it was. I'm not used to building big, huge structures, so I'm not used to having to worry about the room limit. We did expand this out and put glass in, which is actually one of the reasons why I'm like, oh, I need to worry about heat, because I have all these windows that are just going to be generating heat throughout the day. So I put in an air conditioning unit to manage that heat. I didn't turn it on because I'm like, oh, we're starting at 0 because we're doing ice. The next thing I know, my character is taking damage because it's too cold. Here, what are the traders looking like? Are you going to be... There we go. Cosmic Trust. No seed trader, sadly. But 15 minutes, that changes. I'm debating whether it's not a debate of if, it's when. Here's the lever to control the hangar. So I just close this, and it closes the hangar doors. But the thing I don't have is it's not controlling the atmospheric. So to do the atmospheric, well, no, I can just show you. Turn on, yeah. So we suck out the air in this room, and then we come up here, and we have to turn this on in order to pressurize the hangar. Not the most ideal situation. I might need to replace the 6 wall heaters with an AC unit or 2 for the Stirling engine if 6 can't keep up. Yeah, I tried not to use the wall heaters because they're not that efficient. Okay, so this is on the same data network as the hangar door, so I don't have to worry about rewiring it. So your problem is you need to heat the room to keep up with the Stirling. Because usually when you run Stirlings, you're more worried about keeping it cool instead of hot. Ah, okay. Oh, my goodness, I'm actually going to go get that because it's my shame when I pressurized the base. I had a few windows not in place, so some of the ice escaped. And don't ask me how. It looks like it survived being on the moon. Despite it, like, being surrounded by gas when it escaped. Okay. That makes much more sense. Yeah, wall coolers aren't very efficient. Like, the thing I like about wall coolers is I haven't found a functional limit like you have with the phase change or air conditioners. So you can string them together to get really high temperatures. But they're very energy inefficient. So it's better to actually use like one of these ACs to cool the room versus a wall cooler. And it's more efficient to use phase change than this guy. The bigger issue is you need the space and the material to put them into place. But like a wall cooler, a wall thing, you can just throw it up on the wall and it works. You just have to provide it power. This, you have to have the intake, the outlet, where you exhaust the heat. It's a little bit more complicated, but it does the job better. And phase change is a lot more complicated, but is very efficient at what it does. So I would definitely recommend not using wall coolers. I would switch to a better system. Especially for your Stirling generator room, because that's supposed to make you power. And using an inefficient wall cooler, it's just going to rob you of the power you're producing. How? Oh, of course it's still frozen, because it's negative 23 in here. That's how the ice survived. So I'm like, how is there ice in a pressurized base? Because it's frozen. Have you done a phase change cooling loop before, Creative? No, I need to get... hydro. I'll change it. It's the wall. Okay. But I do agree with your, like, I'm assuming since you got it up and running, how efficiently did the Stirling generators cool down the steam from the H2 combustor? Might be the pipes. They don't have that. Ah, okay. Because I'm going to be honest, I like your idea about using the Stirling generators to cool down the steam. So, yeah, I'm probably going to do that after I get the H2 combustor up and running and producing steam. Which, that's the whole reason I'm trying to get switchgrass up and running, is to get the H2 combustor going. Yeah, trying to figure out why my base was freezing and then fixing that kind of derailed all my plans this stream. And definitely took me off course. Okay. Oh, and I'm going to need more water pipe. So yeah, this is going to be my switchgrass area. I'm going to pack them in tight because I want to produce as much switchgrass as I can. I still need to put in grow lights. Oh, I'm going to probably have to move that vent. But we're not using the airlock anyway right now, so it's not that huge of a problem. But yeah, so we're going to produce switchgrass. I'm going to basically have another path. Probably take this wall out, put in the path to go to the other room where the composter is. And then another room that has the H2 combustor. But at this point, we got 18 minutes left in my stream, so that's probably all going to wait till next week. Right now, I'm just trying to get it where we have the hydroponics set up, and we're going to be in a nice spot for next week. All right, and negative 23. So, base is slowly warming up on its own. I'm happy with as slow as the base is heating up, because that means that single AC should be able to keep up with the temperature changes of my base. I'm going to need at least 3 pipes, so let's produce 4, so we keep the decimal away. And then while we're up there, we need to eat and drink. I did get the AC script done. If it works, which I haven't tested yet since it takes in gas from the Stirling engine's output. But if it works, then I could have the script control up to 16 AC units in a chain. Nice! Oh, I do have my laptop on me, so I can show you my centrifuge code. Let me wrench. The wrench back. Pull out the laptop. Let's store the suit because we don't need to wear the suit in here, and I don't want to get stinky. Eat my French fries. So it could easily cool gas by 800. If I remember correctly, the steam comes out at 2000 degrees C. So, okay, my laptop is haunted. There we go. Haunted laptop. So yeah, here's my centrifuge code. You see me define centrifuge. There's the prehash. I don't remember. Oh, that's right. I just named the index so that way I would know what to call it. And the funny part is I never call it by index. Oh, gotcha. So you're talking about your AC cools by 800, not... Okay, gotcha. So we're actually using the stack in this. So I push, because that's what puts it into the stack, push centrifuge 1, push centrifuge 2, push centrifuge 3, all the way to 10, and at the end of my line, I push 0 into the stack. When it starts, it adds 1 to the stack count, takes a peek at the stack count, which would give you whichever name you're looking at. If that name is equal to 0, it runs reset, which puts the stack point back at 0. If it's not 0, then it goes, hey, load batch from device 15, or to 15 from centrifuge set name. Grabs the reagents. If 15 is greater, or if it's this number, it goes to empty. If it's 0, it closes it. So empty, it just sends the open command. Close, does the close command. But because you have this loop in here, it simply goes through and goes down this list for each of these. So you have this nice, I condensed it down to 35 lines of code, as opposed to, let's see, what was my, here's my original code using the hash name before I learned how to use the stack. Come on, laptop, you can do it. There we go. So here's my original centrifuge code when I just learned how to use the hash. How many, I think it's something like 256. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's the limit for the stack. But as you can see, my old code, it's ugly. I ended up using something like 118 lines of code compared to 35. That's the power of the stack. Because basically, without running it through the stack loop right here, I had to copy this 10 times. So that's how you get it where, and mind you, this was a simple code of just, hey, if the reagents are above a certain amount, empty it. If it's below it, shut it. So yeah, I highly recommend you look in how to use the stack if you're trying to control multiple devices without using any pins. This code uses 0 pins, which I'm a little proud of because it's the first time I've kind of done that. Sadly, I didn't get around to writing my clock code. It's been a long week, and after finding out the whole your base is freezing, I don't have the brain power to code the clock because I do want to put a clock in each of the rooms. I think I basically made my... Yeah. I mean, if you made your own stack way, that works. But to make clock, I understand the simplicity of it. You just take a daylight sensor, and then you divide the 360, your how long you want a day to be by 360, and then you have it look at the daylight sensor, and based on the angle, you know what day it is or what time it is. And if it's going between 0 and 180, it's AM. If it's going from 180 to 0, it's PM. It's actually like my head goes, oh, it's real simple math. This is how you do it. But my brain translating that if then statement into MIPS code, my brain just doesn't want to deal with the syntax tonight. I moved R0 new name hash then var script. Oh, okay. Yeah, one thing I do appreciate about this game is it is forcing me to get better with my coding skills. I've always been a project-driven individual, and I just haven't had any projects since I had one job where they very much encouraged me to program, and boy did I program up a storm. But after I lost that job, all the other jobs were like, oh, we already have something programmed, so you don't need to do that. Or I had a boss who actively discouraged me from writing code because it made him look bad. And my current job, there's currently no need to code. It's more troubleshooting and writing SDPs and developing material tests. So I'm happy to have something that encourages me to code. So if I did the SP way, I'd be able to have 32 AC scripts in a line. There you go. Get that off. And right now I'm going around my base and making sure that I have everything prepared for me to end the stream. Because I don't know about you, every time I come back, it's been a week, and I'm like, was there something important I was supposed to do? Is there anything that if I left on, it might blow something up? I try to walk around and make sure all that is taken care of. To be honest, I try to hard code that into my base, but I often miss things. So before I end each stream, I go around, and you know what? I'm going to give all you a base tour. So here's the deep miner. I have 2 batteries to power it, because I'm pure solar. So I want to make sure I have enough battery to run the 3 deep miners, the stacker, the 10 centrifuges, which I really need to add that last. Oh, how much gas do I have in that large tank? Not a lot. Like, I'm going to be honest. I think the large oxygen tank, I have 2 megapascals. And in the large nitrogen tank, I have 1/4 of a megapascal. And the others are all empty. I was designing the base to be able to handle a lot more than I've gotten to. One of the primary things that it's kind of made it where I'm like, well, gases, all my ores are coming from the deep miners. Which, after it goes into the centrifuges, run the code so it empties on its own, it goes through the sorter and gets sorted into all these silos. And as you can see, 40 stacks of iron. It's going pretty well. But that means all the ores I'm doing are already degassed. So at the moment, my gas volumes are not increasing. So 2.7 238 kilopascals. And then everything else is empty because it's not attached yet. Here's my hot tank. This is where all my gases currently are. They haven't been sorted because I've just been using them to run my furnace. I have a single pipe heater maintaining the heat in my nice little hot box. But again, since I'm running degas doors, pressure never goes up. And why I built this system to handle so much, yeah, pretty much the only gases I have are from the oxides that I put into this ice crusher, which as I am running deep mines, I'm not leaving the base to get stuff. I haven't put anything in here in a while. I'm hoping that at some point in this playthrough I get to rockets. When I get to rockets, I will definitely fix this to run properly. And that way I will be using all these large tanks for that. But at the moment, I just have to worry about the nitrogen and the oxygen. Funny part is I have this nice... I haven't even taken anything out of this. This is still from the starting crate, and I haven't touched it. Yeah, it does look like the only way to get infinite source of gas without you requiring, after setup, be the whole greenhouse route. Yeah, rockets, but you gotta be lucky if you find the ice. Yeah, basically I'm kind of going the greenhouse route to get gases, because I do know there's a way to get infinite gases with the greenhouse. Although, as I was talking earlier before you joined, greenhouses can also eat your gases if you're not careful, because soybeans eat nitrogen, and they just eat the nitrogen. So if you're not putting it back into the composter to generate more nitrogen, your soybeans will just continuously eat all your nitrogen and not give you anything in return. As opposed to like when they consume your oxygen or your CO2, or soybeans. So it eats 8.4 of carbon dioxide and 8.64 of nitrogen, but only gives back 8.64 of oxygen. Again, composter can give you back the nitrogen, but you have to be mindful of that. And currently, I don't have a composter up. So I'm trying to be very mindful of my nitrogen. I do have the mushrooms up and running, because right now that is my source of CO2. That's why I got the nitrolyzer as well, since NOS and volatiles double your nitrogen and oxygen. Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned that previously, because again, once I get my gases moving, I agree, I am going to put up the nitrolyzer and get it where it doubles my oxygen and nitrogen. Because, again, we have something that just eats all your nitrogen. It's a pity, like, you have some of the more exotic plants, like, let's see here, the hellflower, which produces pollutant. Why you would want to produce pollutant is beyond me. But it's a shame there's not a plant that eats pollutant. Because I think that would be very, very valuable instead of producing pollutant, something that consumes pollutant. Because right now, pollutant's not all that valuable. I mean, currently the only real use for it is you can use it as a coolant between 150 and negative 91, but let's be honest, you have other gases that do much better jobs in much better ranges. So right now, pollutant is just kind of a, nah, it's there. We don't even have terraforming yet, so most people just dump it into the environment and whoop-de-doo. But it would be nice to have like an exotic plant that actually you need pollutant for it to do its thing. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. Because honestly, I kind of like the idea of having a greenhouse that is like toxic to everything else, but you want to have that for that plant. And you know what? It is midnight, and I'm glad I'm in this room. So let's take off our equipment. You know what? Before we go, I want to check the trader one last time. Because that, again, be very absent-minded, especially late at night, because this is my insomnia hours. So let's go see if there is a seed trader. Because that's what I'm really hoping for, because that is how you can get some of these exotic plants. Or where's the one exotic plant that I... Where's that one fern that's really good at its job? There we go, this guy. That fern really does a good job of converting CO2 into oxygen, and I'd love to have one of those around. If nothing else, just to have one. Ah man, terraforming, it would actually keep all the gases you vent. It would be a pain since it would... Yeah. Not a seed trader. Alright, let's go back to, and we're at negative 21. So again, we're not heating up super quickly, but we are heating up. Like, I try to play like terraforming is possible. So I try to store all my pollutant. I try not to vent to the atmosphere. Hence why I have a huge pollutant storage vessel. I mean, luckily, like that 50,000 liters of pollutant is going to take forever to fill it up. And as expensive as it is, it's actually not that expensive just to make another large one. Although part of me also thinks about, well, you could always make a rocket with a storage tank and just pipe all your pollutant into that secondary gas storage and shoot it into space. Alrighty. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for your raid people to join me. If you like what you see, please give me a follow. Until then, I'm going to say goodnight. I'm hoping that we're streaming tomorrow because my niece has been doing finals, so the last 2 weeks she did not feel like streaming, so we did not stream The Legend of Zelda. And Monday we have been streaming Icarus, me and my one friend. He's looking forward to it. The Monday night stream is 9 to noon my time, my insomnia hours. So if you feel like it, please join. Give me a follow if you like what you see. Until then, have a good night.